Super Mario Sunshine! Woohoo! My bad the voice acting aside, this was the first game I ever played growing up. This was back in 2nd grade, where if you did good enough, you got to play the school GameCube for 15 minutes. Besides the GameCube being one of the best systems to ever experience for the first time, Super Mario Sunshine really had a great first impression on me. The visuals, the level design, and an odd yet very attention-grabbing intro really made this game stand out to me. And then there's the iconic M. Anyone who sees that would recognize that it's from this game, and that just makes it so much better. This game had a lot of skepticism when it first came out, and a lot of people didn't like it. Die-hard fans of Super Mario 64, people who hated the GameCube, and of course PETA. But besides the quirky opening scene, the frustrating camera controls that were frustrating for some people, and the animal abuse, this game is very underappreciated and it deserves a well-earned sequel, and I'll tell you why. One of the first things that caught my attention when I was rewatching the opening scene over and over again for those 15 minutes I got to play the game on the school's GameCube were the crab and sea turtle islands next to Isle Delfino. I remember always wanting to go to those islands thinking they were part of the actual game. Unfortunately they weren't, but it would be really cool to see them in a sequel to this game. I mean, think about it, Isle Tortuga and Isle Cangrejo, that sounds like a lot of fun to explore. I remember being in awe at the opening theme for this game in Delfino Plaza, a dark, peaceful town where everything is quiet and eerie, but in a good way. This was so much more refreshing than what we got in Mario 64 in terms of a hub world. I mean, in Mario 64, all we get is a letter from Peach saying she baked a cake for us and that's it. There's really no other human interaction in that game at all. When you walk inside the castle, all you get is this. Yeah, really, no one's home. There's nothing but toads here. It's really boring and empty in this place. Whereas in Super Mario Sunshine, you just have so much more life breathed into Delfino Plaza. And there's so many interesting things going on here in this hub world. You have that one Pianta who plays the ukulele that gives you the tourist map.
Mario.
You have that other Pianta who gives you the t-shirt and the sunglasses. You even get to see a couple Piantas arguing about which one has the bigger tree on their head. It was always fun to jump on their heads. Spray them with water. Or even get thrown across the map by them if you give them a coin. It's kind of like Clocktown and Majora's Mask. There's just so much energy in this area. It's a lot more fun than what we got in Super Mario 64. Even the sounds the NPCs make are fun to listen to, whether it's the gibberish of the Piantas, or the weird language of the Nokis. And then there's FLUDD's controls. Do people really need to complain about how FLUDD works in this game? First off, you're using the best gaming controller ever made, the Nintendo GameCube controller. Second, it's not that hard to aim with FLUDD's water gun. It's pretty much the same as like using the R-Wings in Star Fox 64. And plus, you even had the added bonus of the pressure-sensitive triggers, which is a real iconic thing for the original GameCube. These controls made using FLUDD so easy, whether you want to run or squirt or just squirt while standing still, because of the pressure-sensitive triggers, and it would really be cool to see them return in a sequel to this game on the Switch's successor. I know a lot of people hated the camera in this game, but there's really not much to complain about. Yes, I'll admit, it's stupid that in the GameCube version of this game, they inverted the C6 so that when you move it left, the camera moves right and vice versa. You still have a lot more freedom with the camera in this game. Unlike in Mario 64, where the camera locks when you only move it left or right a certain distance. This game gives you full 360-degree control of the camera, and if it gets stuck on a wall, all you can do is just press L to center it behind you, kind of like an Ocarina of Time's camera, which was perfect in that game, by the way. And then Super Mario Galaxy went and screwed up the camera again. Even if you have 360-degree space around you, or you aren't against a wall, you can't center the camera behind you, and it'll get locked after just moving left or right twice. So yeah, FLUDD's controls for this game and the way you control the camera aren't as bad as most people think. Speaking of FLUDD, he's such a great character in this game. He's not an annoying sidekick like Navi in Ocarina of Time or Fi in Skyward Sword. He gives you useful advice when needed and doesn't make you stop in the middle of the game like Navi always did in Ocarina of Time.
Hey, listen! Listen! Listen!
And his voice just sounds so great in this game too. That weird nasally computer sounding voice really makes him unique.
Power up complete. Thank you for purchasing this item from Gad Science Incorporated. This appears to be quite a predicament, Mario. What happened? Did the perpetrator get away? I am FLUDD. Glad to meet you.
And he does a lot more than just fly over to an enemy to target them, or just give you info about an enemy. He can help you get back up if you fall down with the hover nozzle. He can help you cross large gaps with it. And he can even help you move faster by spraying some water to the ground and diving right into it. If there's one thing Super Mario Sunshine definitely did better than Super Mario 64, it's the level design. In Super Mario 64, you get your traditional fire, water, and ice levels. Whereas in Super Mario Sunshine, you get a lot more diversity. I'll admit, the first level you go to in the game, Bianco Hills, is kind of boring, but then you get to go to Rico Harbor, which offers so much more. It's basically a fish market where you get to climb scaffolding, surf on bloopers, and even flip fences to beat your enemies. It gets even better from there. Next you get to go to a beach that has tight ropes high in the mountains, dune buds you can squirt to launch yourself 50 feet in the air, and even a fun challenge where you have to fight a bunch of ducks with plungers for feet by pushing them to the edge of a mirror and ground pounding it to fling them into the air. And then there's the ambience of Gelato Beach after you beat the main boss of the level, Wiggler. Just the sound of the ocean waves and walking in the sand. It's just so nice and peaceful. And then you get to go to a hotel level that doesn't involve opening and closing doors with a nice sunset view, Serena Beach. It's nice to know that the first boss of this level, the Phantom Manta, was referenced in Splatoon 3. That just shows how iconic this game is. And then there's Pinna Park, an amusement park with the best boss fight in the game, Mecha Bowser. Besides the awesome cutscene where Mario and Shadow Mario staring down each other with that eerie music playing,
perpetrator get away.
This boss fight was spectacular. Riding a roller coaster while firing water-propelled rockets at a giant mechanical Bowser while having bullet bills chasing you down really was a monumental experience. And then there's my favorite place in the game, Noki Bay. Just the waterfall itself, the shell houses in the mountains, and even the theme for this place just makes it such a fun and colorful area to explore. It starts out with all that purple poison in the water, which is already graphically impressive itself, but once you restore the bay to purity, that's where the visuals of Super Mario Sunshine really shine the brightest. It would be awesome to see a place like this, or even just the visuals of the water itself returning a sequel to this game. And then there's the music for this game. While Super Mario 64 had some nice tracks that stood out, the only ones I really cared about were Dire Dire Docks, Bowser's Road, and the ending theme. Whereas in Super Mario Sunshine, you get the Sky and Sea theme, the atmospheric Deep Sea of Mare theme, the Serena Beach theme, the remix of the Super Mario Bros. Main theme, the Gelato Beach theme, and so much more. Even the peaceful ambience of the seagulls flying in the sky and the sound of the ocean waves hitting the ocean shore really add to the immersion of this game. Of course, this game isn't without its flaws. There's a lot of things that need to be absent in this game's sequel. One thing that definitely needs to be omitted from this game's sequel are the stupid secret course challenges. These challenges stupidly take away FLUDD, the main mechanic of the game, and rely on you to play the game as you would if it were a sequel to Super Mario 64 instead. While they're not too difficult, they can be frustrating at times because they have a lot of obstacles, and like the later courses in Super Mario 64, if you make one wrong move, you fall down and you have to start all over again. One thing this game mode did get right that's unlike Super Mario 64 is whenever you do die, you just restart from a checkpoint, not like where you're kicked out of the course in like Tick-Tock Clock or Rainbow Ride in Super Mario 64.
Mamma mia!
Regardless, in this game's sequel, they need to make sure not to take FLUDD away from you at random points in the game, which is even more stupid by the fact that after you do complete the mission, you have to do it again with FLUDD this time, just to collect 8 red coins. That just shows how pointless removing him from the game was. And if that wasn't bad enough, you get the 2 worst levels in the game, if not the entire 3D Mario series, the Pachinko Game Challenge and the Poison Lake. First off, you have to get a Yoshi all the way to that little island with the juice generator just to get inside. But before that, you have to first get a Yoshi, get on a boat, wait for that boat to get to another one, while making sure you don't run out of fruit juice, because if you do, you have to start over. If you land in the water, you start over. And when you do finally get to the challenge, you have to collect 8 red coins on a lily pad that you control with FLUDD. If you fall in the water, you die. If you miss a red coin, you have to tight walk all along the edge of the stage, hoping you don't fall off, and try again. After you're done with the Poison Lake challenge, the next one is the most difficult one in the whole game, and it's probably going to make you break your controller. This is another stupid red coin challenge. We have to collect all 8 red coins in these tiny slots. You first jump at a trampoline and hope it pushes you in the one you want to go to. The reason why this is so annoying is because of the stupid gravity effect. It doesn't matter whether you use the rocket nozzle or the hover nozzle. If you try to go forwards, you'll be pushed backwards. If you try to go backwards, you'll be pushed forwards. I even remember looking up a guide for this game on Prima Guides, and they said the only way you can really do this is if you get lucky. How stupid is that? You can only beat this level if you get lucky. Another thing that shouldn't return in this game's sequel is the blue coin fetch quest. While there are a lot of fun and creative ways to find the blue coins in the game, it shouldn't be required to get the secret ending in the game. Fetch quests are not fun. They weren't fun in Metroid Prime, they weren't fun in Wind Waker, and they're not fun here. Also, while there's a lot of fun, unique things to do in this game, the sequel needs to be a little less redundant. First off, every level uses the same 3 mechanics for each episode in every area you go to. While Super Mario Sunshine's levels do have some heavy hitters, such as Tilt, Slam, Bam, and Gelato Beach, Ely Mouth's Dentist in Noki Bay. Or even Mecha Bowser in Pinna Park. Most of the other levels just repeat the same formula. You either do a secret course challenge, collect red coins, chase Shadow Mario, repeat. This is definitely where Super Mario 64 does better than Sunshine. It has a lot more variety and interesting things to do for each star you collect in the game. While I do prefer Super Mario Sunshine over Super Mario 64, 64 definitely had the better objectives in each area. I know I said the theme of 64's level isn't as scenic or iconic as Mario Sunshine's, but they definitely had a lot more creativity in the way you collect stars in the game. Like I said with Super Mario Sunshine's objectives, you either find 8 red coins, do a secret course challenge, or chase down Shadow Mario. Whereas in Super Mario 64, you can shoot yourself out of a cannon into a wall to reveal a hidden star. Or you can even free a chain chomp from its post to bust open a gate containing a hidden star.
Here we go!
It's really a lot more fun than what we get in Sunshine. So if we ever do get a sequel to Super Mario Sunshine, it needs to have more heavy hitters like the ones in Super Mario 64, or like the more iconic levels in Super Mario Sunshine, Tilt, Slam, Bam, and Gelato Beach. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video. Tell me what you'd like to see in a sequel to Super Mario Sunshine in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye bye!